And right now, the suspect in the Aurora theater shootings facing 142 counts. This sketch drawn up today when suspected shooter James Holmes appeared in court. No cameras were allowed. Holmes facing 24 counts of first-degree murder and 116 counts of attempted murder. We have team coverage tonight, including reaction from family members of victims who were in the courtroom. And we start with 7 News reporter Marshall Zelinger, who was in court and observed Holmes in person. And Marshall, you believe his demeanor was less erratic than last week?
And he appeared more focused than last week, staring at the judge when he was spoken to. That wide-eyed look that we saw a few times last week, I only saw twice, and that colorful hair losing its tint after more than a week in jail. The noticeable hair of James Holmes now lighter than last week, more orange and yellow, flat and wavy instead of curly. Chief Judge William Sylvester wasted no time telling Holmes he faces 142 counts, 24 for first-degree murder, 116 for attempted first-degree murder, 1 count crime of violence for use of a deadly weapon, and 1 count possession of explosive devices. Holmes charged twice for each victim. The second set of charges is for what's called extreme indifference toward human life.
Meaning they didn't care at all about whether someone lived or died.
Attorney Dan Reck tells 7 News charging him twice, once for after deliberation, meaning planning, and once with indifference, makes it easier for the prosecution to prove its case.
They can get a guilty verdict by proving it either way. They don't have to prove it both ways.
We're going to go this way.
Victims' advocates led injured victims inside the courtroom. After the hearing, the aunt of shooting victim Ashley Mosier, who suffered a miscarriage and lost her 6-year-old daughter in the shooting, said prosecutors are still considering terrorism charges.
That is something that I think is not going to go away, and I think it is going to be explored.
She also told us her stance on the death penalty, which Holmes faces with any of the 24 murder counts.
I'm a Christian, and I do believe that he should probably be just locked away and live with what he did every day of his life.
Holmes will be back in court 1 week from Thursday. At that hearing, we will find out if documents that we have requested to become unsealed will be available for the public. Live in Arapahoe County, Marshall Zelinger, 7 News.
And our team coverage continues with 7 News reporter Amanda Kost. And Amanda, you spoke to some of the other people affected by the tragedy who were in the courtroom today.
Yeah, and eye contact, remorse, guilt. They told us they wanted to see something from the one man accused of taking so much. Well, instead, they left with what they needed even more: support, comfort, knowing they're not alone.
I'm just blessed to be here. I'm blessed to be talking to you guys right now.
The survivors.
It was a combat situation, through and through.
It's mental trauma, and what people saw outside.
Family of victims still fighting to hold on.
She'll have the paralysis, and it's going to change her life.
Forever connected by tragedy.
And we've made friends out of this, for certain.
Coming together inside a courtroom, facing the accused.
Once that door opened and you saw him come in, everybody just stopped.
Something that I had to do, but it was very difficult to see this man and to see his indifference and the destruction that he's caused.
Pain that can't be healed in a courtroom. The wounded finding comfort, power in their resolve.
No matter what happens, he can't win. There's too many of us to let him win.
We're not going to sit down for this. We're going to take the situation, we're going to absorb it, and we're going to face it head on.
Survivors, close calls, those with emotional trauma, encouraged to seek healing.
I know there's a stigmata with mental health, but make sure that you get help, because this case is going to go on for a very long time. There's going to be triggers. There's going to be things that bring back painful memories. I don't want to see another casualty come from this.
And the next court hearing scheduled for a week from Thursday. The victims' families, who told us they plan on being there, say they'll continue to follow this very closely. They have a lot invested. Reporting live, Amanda Kost, 7 News.